By the way, I've had an odd thing happen with World of Horror where my mouse disappears if I go off of the World of Horror screen, but I mean, let me know if anyone else runs into that on PC specifically, as we get the Thotu 7th Curse and 3 custom mysteries. So yeah, that's the only thing. I guess that's how I'm opening my video. Let's just make sure that we have everything set up. And I usually, again, to say, because it's been a while since I've said it, it's also been a while since I got 7th Curse, but yeah, I leave this opening so that I can set up the intro, basically. Now, as I get into a Thotu 7th Curse custom character with 3 custom mysteries, there's nothing stopping anyone from believing, and it has happened at a few times, obviously, when I flub my recordings, as I get Takshisan, Dexterity, Knowledge, second mystery, Light, and maybe a second? Maybe a Strength check, not second encounter. I'm going crazy. But yeah, I flubbed recording, so there's nothing stopping me from just starting another recording and saying, oh, hey look, this is the old god backstory combination I got this time. But I mean, that would be more work for me and would not really help, if anything, anyone but myself. Or it would only hurt myself is what I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness, my words are going crazy. Anywho, let's see what we have on our plate today. And I'm actually going to do a thing on the side here because I forgot I need to make sure my notes are okay, but we'll go over the mysteries as well, as I'm kind of doing a 2 for here. So we have arms, scissors, dogs, taxi, and goal. So goal, arms for sure, and then probably scissors, so that's probably gonna, yeah, we're probably gonna do arms first, funny enough. And I need to remind myself, yeah, I don't know why I stuttered there, but I need to remind myself that I can't get allies. Too often have I went for an ally and forgot that I was on 7th Curse. But we are looking for a thingamajiggy here. It's really unfortunate because Iwa's here as well, but hey, 7th Curse. Now, at some point, I would like the army knife to appear, but so, I mean, pretty much, at least in 7th Curse, I didn't use the Doom to prep for funds. That would have been even worse. Prep for funds and re-rolled 5 times, but yeah, it's pretty much not, actually, this 4 Doom is worth the damage I'm taking, or the Doom I'm taking, because if we run into a ghost, it's going to be really, really bad to do 1 less damage. That does cause problems, or you to take more damage, unless you're running, but I think we're on Katak, right? No, at Thotu, I'm going crazy. Well, even more reason, because ghosts do more damage to me, and Sever is not affected by it, Thotu, unless I'm wrong, but someone with hundreds of hours on World of Horror. By the way, yeah, so I pulled up notes on the side because I completely always forget what I wanted to talk about, because obviously I'm going through life, working, doing things around where I'm living at, taking care of dogs, things of that nature, and I am, I come up with a good idea. I'm like, oh, that's something I should probably talk about on stream, among other things. Now, obviously, I don't usually like to talk about serious or things if possible, unless they're really, really interfering with my life. But in this case, yeah, I was basically going to continue off what I was talking about earlier with, playing other games and having that fuel me. This time specific examples though. So to be more specific and to get more specific as the video goes on, hopefully, unless I completely flub something and I go crazy. But yeah, obviously I play RPG Maker games. As an RPG Maker dev, it would probably benefit someone. Oh my goodness, can we hit these 2 attacks, by the way? It would probably benefit an RPG Maker developer to play games that are made with RPG Maker to get a better idea for developing games in RPG Maker. So specifically, there are examples that, kind of make me tilt my head at times, and there are other times when I'm playing and I go, hey, that's a good idea. Now, at the same time, I've mentioned this before, I don't often like to take specific examples from other video games, but if someone comes up with a good idea, there's not really a reason to avoid it. A common example is a gallery or extra room in RPG Maker games. Another example is basically an intro dialogue in a black screen. That's just the norm, because you don't like to often cold open, and my understanding of a cold open for most video games, as we get Star Electricity, we could grab the Cursed Scissors here, but our Doom is what I'm worried about, even though we have scissors. But yeah, cold open in an RPG Maker game would essentially have you just popping in, even if you have some. Even if you have a big text box or text on a black screen, or even just a meta thing like saying, hey, you want to skip the intro? Something like that I would not consider a cold open. As opposed to a game that starts you off, fading into a map from a black screen, and a character walks into the screen. Which, funny enough, yeah, I have seen good and bad examples. A bad example is more a static screen as we go for a one-shot here, where a character just walks in. A better example has maybe letterboxing, has maybe a fade-in with proper quote-unquote camera movement. This is Star Electricity, if I recall correctly. Also, you know what I did? Oh, I know I did do it. Okay, I was going crazy. No, I didn't do it. I'm going absolutely insane. But I'm looking at something else. But yeah, that's the kind of cold open I'm talking about. I'm not saying you can't do a cold open, but it would normally be good because otherwise you have to make the player wait after the cold open to ask them any kind of fixing questions. But either one is fine. It's just that I've seen good and bad examples of both. A bad example of I guess, not a cold open, but basically a meta opening that says skip intro. Hey, do you want to do set this, set this, set this? Is an example where you're doing that for too long. If the player is essentially, from my observations and experience, also we're taking super damage here, so a Dotoo Flame would be better. So to kind of go back to World of War for a moment, we're taking minus for all damage, or I could take 2 Doom and 1 Reason 1 Stamina to deal 8 damage, which feels a lot better to me. Also, we have 2 sets of library notes, but no, I can't actually do better here, funny enough. So a Dotoo Flame twice, so 4 Doom to all, but that's better than taking 8 all, possibly, and basically just dying. So, a very specific example. But use everything you can when you're playing World of War, especially on Harbinger of Doom difficulty, unless it's like a straight-out cheat, but I can't control what you do. What some players consider an exploit, bugs, so on and so forth, is actually, I mean, depends on your definition of those, except for bugs. Bugs is a more straightforward example that doesn't need explaining. But as we go into goal here, we need some kind of perk to help us. Hard Knock, probably? Yeah, probably Hard Knock. The reason that I want this perk is for encounter specifically, but we're also going to take 2 curses and cross our fingers and hope we don't die. Hallucinations doesn't help, but we're about to do a thing as well. Flashbacks also doesn't help, but we don't need the dexterity anymore because we weren't planning to do anything else. I could have sold these library notes, but we're only going to sell 1. I guess we'll use the other really quickly because we're going to heal through cigarettes anyway, and that's interesting. We theoretically have more reason to work with, so I don't really mind using Ancestral Strength. And I would like a second pack of cigarettes. Unfortunately, we can't sell the police revolver, but hey. But yeah, to rewind back to basically, it is game dev talk. I'm sorry to anyone who doesn't like game dev talk, as we're playing a video game, and that's not a snarky comment. That's just literally what the truth of what we're talking about here. But did these cigarettes cost 4 funds, by the way? Hopefully they did. Oh, they did. We'll run into out of funds. That's fine. It's well worth the damage I'm taking, or saving. Although I will try to smoke them at the end when we're fighting the boss. But yeah, to rewind back to RPG Maker stuff, yeah, a bad example of a meta intro is if the player is sitting through 5 to 10 more minutes, from my experience and observations, it's taking too long. But also, we did not visit the police station yet. But example of a bad cold open is not allowing the player to quickly be able to basically make any changes to their setting, because maybe they want their message speed to be faster, maybe they want always dash or always run just on. Things like that I think are examples of when you would want to of bad cold opens, because you don't want to, even just in regular video gaming. I'm also of the opinion, because it's not a common opinion, but it's an opinion I've heard before, where you shouldn't really start games off of long cold opens, if for no other reason than quality of life. And what I mean by that is, as I said, for RPG Maker specifically, that's why we can use this specific example here, is that, wow, we really don't get to guarantee 2 attacks. This should do at least 3 damage? 2 damage? Yeah. And we cross our fingers. But yeah, just in RPG Maker terms, you don't want a cold open to go longer for 5 to 10 minutes as well, because again, you don't know what the player might want in terms of their mess. Maybe the messages are moving too slow, maybe they are not moving fast enough. Also, we're going to pop these cigarettes now before it's too late. Thank goodness I did. But oh, that's why, because I didn't even have a nicotine rush yet. So I was like, why couldn't I fit 2 attacks? Anywho, we could also use the Dotoo Flame once or twice here, but I'm choosing not to. But yeah, on the opposite version, you don't want the player sitting through too long of an a meta intro as well, where they're just asking questions and they're therefore not playing the game or experiencing the game. At minimum, you want the player to be experiencing the game, but you don't also want them to have no control. Of which, yeah, another way to say it is there better be a very good reason for a QTE. Unless your game is QTE focused. Again, there are exceptions here and there, but they are by far, like, there are reasons why rules, quote-unquote rules, exist here and there. Also, we're taking taxi for extra cigarettes. But as for what else happens in this run, could double up on dexterity. I forgot if I have the dexterity check. I'm gonna assume no, there's no point. We're still taking quick thinking, so that we can do quick thinking, make quick thinking choices. But aside from that, we do have the energy drink as well, I realize, but we'll see if we need it, basically. But yeah, these are very common examples of me seeing things in the game. On most games, most games, at least RPG Maker games that I've seen, have pretty okay openings. There are some wonky things that happen here and there, but aside from that, aside from those small things, overall, I think a lot of RPG Maker games do things correctly, but there are kind of tilt head moments. Very common examples are, and again, this is not a negative thing, but it's just something to note. If you're trying to at least go strive for perfection, which I believe most game devs are, but a common example are RPG Maker game devs that are not native English speakers. And so there are official translations that come out, and the English is I've never seen really bad. Oh, I mean, I probably have seen really bad RPG Maker translations, but there are just some immersion breaking mistakes here and there. Also, we do want to brace. I think I had handcuffs as well, but this is fine because this amount of doom is I can take. In fact, we only took 2 doom. Also, a very rare example of bracing on 5 damage, which is still good for bracing, but I think you get the point. It's you don't often see that. Also, very weird. Again, I think taxi and the other driving. No. It's I'm going crazy. Shuttle. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I thought there was a map check in Shuttle as well. There's not. Shuttle the mystery. Do I gamble on this? For Doom, gamble on a relative 75%? Let's go for it. Okay, good. We get Corpse Dust. This character, I probably don't care about luck anyway, so let's take it. And off we go. I'm crossing my fingers here and hoping that my cigarettes don't go down as these investigations go. Thankfully, that's not the case. But as we take over the wheel here, let's find out. So, drive right through. Go right. There are apparently at least... there is at least one more encounter I've never run into here before in Taxi, but... unless I'm specifically going for something, there's not really a reason to. Also, our stamina is slowly dwindling, but... hopefully things work out. Oh boy. But yeah, I would rather take reason than whatever happened. And into this encounter. Do we actually survive this at all? Now I'm a bit worried, but... we do get 10 damage guaranteed. My next question is if we even survive. I should have actually used a Thotu Flame, but it's too late now. So, this is a real army knife, or in-game army knife, sorry. Robots don't hurt me. But this is 18 damage, so we actually need to do the regular attacks, because these get us... this gets us 26 damage overall, or at least 20 damage overall, or 21 damage overall, but 26. Anywho, let's level up now. Discipline on your own. I don't have it. Yeah, we're on 7th curse, so we shouldn't have any allies, aside from a random doge that appears. Probably should have taken stamina as well, but I've made my decision. But yeah, I had other examples, but now I'm forgetting them because I didn't take notes about that when I ran into it. Basically, right now, as I'm developing an RPG Maker game, I'm also playing RPG Maker games because it helps me at least think through things. But we're actually going to rest a few times if possible before moving on. My second mystery was scissors. Yeah, scissors. And off we go. We're even going to take a nap for a lighthouse rest, and off we go. But yeah, just know that I'm focused. I do play other games. I mentioned the games in the last episode, but RPG Maker games specifically, I won't mention because, well, just for privacy reasons. But yeah, and it's not like they're adult games too. Some of them are, in terms of like they have adult storyline or they're yeah. Just I'll just leave it at that. Adult content. But I was more. If I am playing those games, it's because I am analyzing basically their gameplay, but also the way that they someone uses characterization and how one builds their plot. There's a very prevalent example of one of these games that is very story-based, or they have there's a lot of world building, and world building is important as well. You shouldn't just toss it to the wind unless obviously you're going for satire and or comedy. I kind of blanked there because I was like, I have to make sure I pick stamina because my stamina is being pounded here. But yeah, world building, story, so on and so forth, are points that I was observing as well, and then comparing them to, okay, should I do this? Should I do this? Or what kind of characterization and things shouldn't I do? And I'm pretty sure I will forget something. Obviously, I'm a very forgetful person, but that's why I try to take notes, which I have not been doing successfully as well. But hey, shrug. So, as we sit here, yeah, so we do have the dexterity check. We thankfully have an energy drink. So we can take only 3 stamina damage. Do we have the 6th floor, is my next question. No. So, we should be able to survive this no matter what. And we're going to take dexterity and move on. We're going to take dexterity and move on. We're going to take oh my goodness, the UI. Small bug, but it does get in the way at times. We can drink the energy drink here. Oh my goodness, I clicked out of World of War on accident. And off we go. But yeah, if you want to hear me talk about a specific game, feel free to let me know. Then I will be more than happy to talk about a specific game, if I played it, obviously. But otherwise, as we sit here and just, you know, I'll toss the arm and knife. Here's looking at you, kid. But yeah, nothing else to say at the moment. So yeah, if you have anything, again, but if you wanted me to talk about anything else, always feel free to throw out a suggestion. I will at least think about it. But usually, I usually touch on something if someone mentions something, or I'll just reply in the comment section for whatever reason that I may. But yeah, without further ado, not really much to talk about. We're gonna shift over to another batch of characters, so I should be switching out characters after at least one character after this video. But basically on the character selection screen, you'll see at least 2 or 3 characters. But yeah, not much else to say. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!